We're speaking about the last will and testament of Reb Nachman of Breslov. And look what the Rebbe says now. The whole power of being connected to tzaddikim, the whole power of being connected to a source. Look what that gives us. Look at Tess. If a person's poigim in emunas chachamim, ali deze ein loy eitza shlema la'olam, v'tamid ein yochel says eitza la'atzmai. If a person, Hashem Yirachim, does not seek guidance from a higher source, so how does he know how to guide himself? Where is he drawing from? He's like a vigilante, it's like rogue. I'll figure this whole, it's roaming. It's just roaming. And the challenge is when you just kind of, I'm just gonna sort of figure this one out, I'm flowing, you can draw from strange places, strange energies. And therefore a person's gonna have a hard time having direction in life. And what's gonna come out of that? What comes out of this is a person what's called mesupak. He has suffik. Suffik, the gematria amalek. But let's just make it less intense. He doesn't know how to walk in this world. He doesn't really know where he's going. What am I really doing? Where am I really going? I think many people, even if you ask them that if they wake up in the morning and they're heading to whatever JP Morgan, whatever job, or somewhere on Wall Street, and they know where they're headed to, literally. But if you ask them where are you really heading in life? Where are you really going?
What do you mean? I'm 95. I make my money and then I go home
and you say to them, where are you really going? I imagine that people have a harder time answering that question. We invite people who are with us from all over the world to think, do they know where they're going? Do I know where I'm going? I'm always amazed that the Gemara has this line about the foolish Babylonians. The Bavlim Atipshim, the foolish Babylonians. Where it says, how did the Babylonians live their life? The Babylonians live their life, they wake up in the morning and they plant wheat. You know why they plant wheat? So that they can harvest the wheat and make bread. And you know what they do with the bread? They eat the bread so they have energy to plant more wheat. And then with the energy to plant more wheat, they plant the wheat, and then they harvest the wheat and they make bread. And then they take the bread and they eat the bread, and they use the bread to have energy to plant more wheat. And if you ask, what are you doing planting the wheat? What do you mean planting the wheat? Of course you need to plant wheat. I need bread, right? How am I gonna have energy to plant wheat without bread? I get that, but what are you doing it for? What do you mean? I'm getting it so I have bread to plant wheat. Didn't you hear what I said? Bread. Could we really answer in our life that I know where I'm going? Do I know where I'm going in life? Is it clear to me where I'm going in life? Or am I misupak? Am I with doubt? Deep down. Maybe every person now should just close their eyes, take a deep breath in, holding the breath, breathing out, and think to themselves, do I know where I'm going? Do I really know where I'm going in life? Is the vision in my mind a pristine, clear vision, or are things wishy-washy, like it's not clear where I'm going? And if I want to have clarity where I'm going, then one of the first steps is I connect myself to a higher source. I connect to a Masorah, to a transmission. And a pagam in that, a blemish in being connected to an authentic higher source, creates anxiety. Anxiety. I don't know what's happening. That's called a misupak. I don't know what to do. A person who's anxious, I don't really know what to do. And therefore, a big part of this Torah is trying to find identity with who I am, where I'm going, and where I receive guidance from. So now the Rebbe says, Ki liboy nase metunuf kamay beis akisa. That's a strong line. A person who is blemished, the world of the Chachamim, his heart becomes dirty. This goes back to the Ashanim Suruchim we were talking about. His heart becomes dirty like a bathroom because it's in the world of Moisus, as we explained. Valkein kol eitzoisav and eitzus nevorois. His ability to guide is going to be blemished. V'kol ze'al yedei pagamim minas chacham rachman al-Islam. Yud. Al yedei machloikis shecholkem v'makshim v'shoylem alav al yedei zeh misboinen l'shuv b'tshuva u'lesaken emunas chachamim. It's very interesting. Through the machloikis, through discussion, through people having conversation, through people even challenging him. One of the things that we welcome in yeshiva is people challenging. So I see that you're getting guidance from Korach. Maybe we should talk about that. I see that you're getting guidance from some other source of leadership. Maybe we should speak that out. From Doeg, we should speak that out. Yeshiva is a place that you could really speak things out. And through that, a person can start doing tshuva. We believe you could do tshuva on anything that ever happened in your life. And it's an amazing, this whole Torah goes into a piece where we're starting to write svarim. You start writing pieces. People are writing their divrei Torah down, their opinions, their thoughts. It's this like proliferation which we see in the world right now. Think how much people are tweeting. And it's so much content coming out. But where's the power? Is it in the ksav yodam, or is it in the ksav of the tzaddikim? Where's more interest being placed? Yeah, Yosef.
So speaking of divrei Torah from the tzaddikim, I've got a chiddush nifla from Rav Andrew Harmon Shlita. I was thinking about what you were sharing as far as like the guy who was working at J.P. Morgan Chase, just not really knowing where his life is headed. And it said in the parsha like a couple weeks ago, like that the days of the righteous should increase, whereas the years of the wicked shall. The days of the righteous shall increase, while the years of the wicked shall decrease. Now he asked the question. He frecked the shiloh. Why do the days of the righteous increase and the years decrease for the wicked? Why is it only days for righteous, years for wicked? And his answer was, for the righteous, they take every day as an opportunity to steig, to learn, to grow, to connect to Hashem, to do avodas Hashem,
The wicked see that it's only a year thing. What's a day?
Yeah,
what can you really do in a day?
The wicked, they're like, oh, I'm going to put in 5 years till I could buy this house that I want, or this supercar, or this Bugatti, or, like...
We see every day as being exceptionally significant. Yud Aleph. Yesh kamas farm v'kulam tzrichim la'olam v'oso lahalag al shum echad mehem. That's a very strong line. There's something about the books. There's something about these books coming out. About the proliferation of Sfarim coming out.
You have Sefer?
Sefer?
You have Sefer?
I'm working on a few books. One on Bris Milah. One on
Set up live audience.
just my thoughts of life on the parsha.
Give a name.
So the Bris one I think is, I don't want to say too much, but I think it's called Bris Kodesh. And the Sefer on the parsha, I feel very connected to the idea of Kavod Malchus, the honor of your kingdom. I feel my day is very, it says that every single person has a day of the year that's like his day. They say some people are like Yom Kippur Yidden. There's certain Yidden like Tisha B'Av Yidden. They're always like broken and Maybe Rav Addis is like a Tisha B'Av Yid. He's always just screaming about the Beis Hamikdash. There's other Yidden that are like Purim Yiddish. Oh, God.
Everyone's a Purim in some way.
There's some that are Shavuos, some that are Sukkot, Pesach, the Rosh Hashanah is Pesach. I feel that for me, Rosh Hashanah is like very connected. Because I love Malchus. I love the king. Long live the king. And that to restore law and order and justice and beauty to the world. And the whole vision of something royal and regal and beautiful. And King David coming back and Mashiach. Malchus Mamish, Beis HaMikdash. It's a Kavod Malchusta, which we talk about also in the tefillas of Yom Tov, of Gale Kavod Malchusta, reveal once and for all the honor of your kingdom, Hashem. Don't reveal the honor of my kingdom or the honor of this guy's kingdom. Don't reveal the honor of your kingdom, Hashem. And we can be the ones to bring it. But in the end, that's why a king in Jewish law has to write an extra Sefer Torah. Every single person has to write their own Sefer Torah. But a king has to write an extra Sefer Torah and put it on his bicep. And that Sefer Torah means that he is a servant of the King of all kings, and he doesn't budge unless the King of all kings moves him. I'm not sure how many global leaders right now have a Sefer Torah tied to their bicep and is guiding their actions. I think probably global leaders would do better if they had a Sefer Torah tied to their bicep. If anybody out there in the world feels differently, I'd be happy to hear your thoughts on that. But I really feel that if we had godly wisdom guiding high-level leadership, it would be a whole different world. It would be a whole different world. Okay? Yud Beis. Yesh sheyesh alem machloikes machma she'ein lehem emuna be'atzman ve'ein ma'aminim bechudushay Torah shel atzman. This Torah is going to go into a whole piece about believing in your own ability to speak. Which is interesting because the whole beginning of the Torah says, I have to look to the rabbis. I have to look to the tzaddikim. And now all of a sudden, the whole Torah is indicating that I need to believe in myself. So which one is it? Do I believe in myself? Do I believe in the leadership?
It's both. You use the tzaddik to lift yourself up. How did the tzaddik become a tzaddik? He followed the tzaddik above him. It's like you said a few days ago, when I don't remember which rabbi you were saying. You said whichever rabbi would say, like, you think I'm this, you should have seen my rabbi, and he would have said, oh, you should have seen my rabbi, and it's all the way down. So the only way to become that is to have your own chidushim. But you get the injection of that for you to continue from your rabbi, from your tzaddik, for the tzaddik.
That's right. I mean, we have a source, but the source is not that we're a bunch of drones and just follow the leader. The leader is supposed to inspire and arouse within us. The leader is supposed to arouse within us a belief that I'm somebody special also. I have my own voice. It's a very important thing. I have my own voice. Malchus. And that's why you have to believe in your words of Torah. Is everybody here writing their own words of Torah? Are you writing? You have to believe in your own words of Torah. It says that they say in the Kabbalah books that when you come up to the Shemayim at night, and especially on Shabbos, they ask you up in heaven, so what Chidushay Torah did you come up with this Shabbos? They ask you after Shabbat. They say, no, what words of Torah? What words of Torah did you come up with? What do you have to show for yourself? What were you doing on Shabbat? Can't sleep a bagel. You know the bagel? All the way around. Long Shabbos days. Daven nates, mincha later. A bagel. Can't sleep a bagel. What chidushay Torah? What do you have to show for yourself? For sure. If you're napping on Shabbos, lets you tap in to something holy, and that's very good. And also, resting on Shabbos is part of the pleasures of Shabbos. But when you go to bed on Shabbos, I hope as you're laying your head down, and you say to yourself, Hashem, I'm about to go to sleep. Hashem, will you please guide my soul as I'm about to go up to the higher realms? Hashem, will you guide my soul that I should learn in the heavenly realms as I go take my Shabbos rest? And that if you have a question that you're dealing with, that before you go to bed you say, Hashem, God, please answer that question to me. Please answer this question that I have, that I should wake up and I should know, I should feel close to you. Guide me. Your sleeping on Shabbos is a bit of a prophetic time where you could reveal something from the higher realms. Take advantage of that time on Shabbat. Pray for it. Say, Hashem, I want the relation. Give me some new perspective, a deeper awareness in my soul. Guide me. Not one of these like, yeah, hop into bed, nap time, yeah. But rather, how could I really, really use this rest time to receive higher insights, higher consciousness? You should know the amount of Torah that we have when it comes to sleeping, that for a Jew, and something that we're here to teach the whole world, is that sleeping is not time off. Sleeping should be time on.
So they came to learn in their sleep.
That's right. Sleeping should be time on. Sleeping should be, how can I zone in to a new level of consciousness? It says every night when we go up to sleep, our soul goes up to the heavenly tribunal, the heavenly courts, and they say, let's talk about the day. What happened today? Let's see, was this day a positive day for you? Did you do well today? What about that incident when that person was, cut you off? Did you road rage that? Did you get a little bit, Just by the way, on road rage, stay away from road rage, whatever you do. I'm shocked whenever I see road rage, how people can lose their minds entirely. And it's not a simple thing. They're going at 60 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour if they're being, reckless. I'm not talking about the Autobahn. People just drive. This is very dangerous. That you're now going to get into anger. Anger that we understand is a person completely loses his das. He's not thinking straight, and you're behind the wheel of a car. You know how dangerous that is? Pardon?
You have a gun too, because road rage is the number one cause of shootings in the United States.
The number one cause of shootings in the United States is from road rage? A guy shooting somebody from his car?
Yeah. Or that maybe they pull over and they get into argument from there.
That's horrible. That's very scary. That's insane. Road rage should be, that's like a national emergency at that point. That's the number one shooting.
Number one cause of shootings, road rage.
Really?
Yeah, in the United States.
That's like an insane stat. I think we should make a campaign to help humanity heal road rage.
How do we do that?
I think we need an entire educational system based on the teachings of Rabbi Nachman of understanding emunah, understanding happiness, understanding that things that are happening to a person is ultimately all because of things that they're involved in, and that they have to be aware that nobody can lift a finger against you unless God is aware and God is managing everything, and that to be aware that I have my own mitzvah of not losing my cool. I have my own mitzvah, my personal mitzvah of not getting angry, and a whole system of believing in safety, of believing in the value of human life, just believing in human life, the sanctity of human life. This all sounds like that human life is basically something very cheap, based on what we're talking about. That is so far from Torah belief. Human life is so precious. Human life is so precious. And loss of life is horrible. Human life is very precious. So I suggest an entire educational campaign. I'm happy the president will get behind this. We could send a delegation to speak to Donald J. to make an entire educational campaign to help heal based on the teachings of Rabbi Nachman, which is getting his source material all the way from the top, God-based material, how to improve happiness, how to lower cortisol levels based on being a happy, fulfilled human being, that the rage won't start. We can clip the rage. We can nip it at the bud right that it doesn't even pop up. And if you see something happening as opposed to like, well, he did that. How does sometimes it start, somebody cut off? So then what happens? The guy's like, oh, you did that to me, watch this. And he starts saying, whoa. Or he screams to him. So let's say you were the guy that got screamed at. What starts inside you that makes you want to scream back?
Who's he to do that to me?
How can you do that to me?
Yeah, it's a little bit
Don't
of
you know I'm in a rush?
Arrogance?
Yeah.
It is arrogance.
It's arrogance.
What do you gain by answering him back? You gain mamish nothing. Literally nothing. When you just look at it logically, you didn't gain anything. You literally only lose from it. So if we could speak to people rationally about this, that you don't gain anything by loving. Pardon?
It's obviously like a character deficiency. Logically, people know that. Like,
Oh, so then we have to speak. When the Rambam says, how do we fix midos? He calls it hilchos deos. If we can help people think correctly, it will eventually impact their character traits. But that takes time. It takes time. Maybe we could do a 40-day seminar somewhere up in like Catskills or the mountains. We'll get a very nice setting. We'll do a European version somewhere in maybe the Swiss Alps. Sounds nice to me. And we spend 40 days speaking about understanding how to think about the world in a healthy way, and that will naturally change the way that my emotional response and my character traits respond to life situations.
wait, so it goes from the intellect to the emotion, kind of?
Yes.
That's the method?
Yes, the intellect is stronger than the emotion. Except that the emotion generally runs our life, because you don't do things unless you're emotionally pulled into doing it.
Yeah, there's a seder to like our design, like in the fact that Hashem put our head above our heart, above our arms.
That's right.
And
The head comes first. The head knows what's right and what's wrong. The head knows what's right and what's wrong.
And there's an acronym for like.
A melech. So like Yosef
But if you have
says,
your heart above your head, you're a
Hello?
Lamek.
that's right. So let's just say something that's a famous idea. The Hebrew language is so beautiful, so deep. Is that what's the word for head?
Rosh.
A rosh or a moach. Your brain, your moach. Your mochin, your moach. What's the word for your heart, your
Lev.
emotions? Your lev. What's the word for your hand action?
Yad.
Your yad or your kaf. Your kaf. So if you are aligned, you think about something, is this the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? That's your head, that's your mo, that's mem. Once I know what's the right thing to do, I take that into my heart. That's my lev. And then I act on it. That's the chaf. So of course that spells mem, lamed, chaf is a melech. You're a king. You're a king. You're a king.
Ferris.
That's right. Everything is aligned. You're a king. But if somebody's doing the opposite, how is he acting? He's going like a clown. Or if he just acts, he's been, yeah, my hand, yeah, I just act. And like, then my emotions get all like wrapped up into it. And then later I rationalize it in my mind. So spell those letters backwards, a chaf, a lam, and a mem, you have klum. You're nothing. You're a nobody. Klum. Rabbi said we should be kings. We should truly be kings. And who's the greatest king? Ezu Gibor HaKovesh et Yitzro, the one that could conquer his base desires, conquer road rage. We should eliminate it from the human being. We should eliminate it. I don't mean the survival instinct. If a guy's coming into you that you're just trying to stay alive. Road rage is the opposite of survival instinct. It's the opposite. It's just a reckless animal energy. It just makes disaster. We should be safe. We should be healthy. We should be happy, my dear friends. We should be Zoicha Mamish. I want you to have a wonderful day. Looking forward to continuing to grow together with the help of God. And we should see tremendous prosperity for all humanity. Amen ve'amen.
Amen.
All to-
Wow.
Thank you very much.
How do you activate the emotions part?